All right, so get this. Today, we're talking forever stocks.
Ooh, forever stocks.
Yeah, you know those companies you buy and hold?
Yeah.
Like forever.
Build move.
It is, right? Especially in the stock market.
For sure.
So we're breaking down this article.
Okay.
It's called 3 Growth Stocks to Buy and Hold Forever.
All right, love it.
But like, forever? Really? That's a big claim.
Yeah, forever might be pushing it a little.
Yeah.
But the article does have some interesting criteria
Okay.
for picking companies that could actually,
Go the distance.
yeah, exactly, have that long haul potential.
Yeah. All right, so first up, they talk about a sturdy business model.
Sturdy.
Sturdy, yeah. Yeah, not the most exciting term. But I get it.
It's important.
It's like the foundation.
Yeah.
Like if you're building a house, you
Yeah.
need that strong base.
Exactly.
But like for those of us who don't speak Wall Street,
Right.
what does a sturdy business model actually mean?
It means the company makes money reliably.
Okay.
It's sustainable.
So it's not just a fad.
Right. It's not just about having a hot product right now.
Gotcha.
It has to be a proven system that can work long term.
So give me an example.
Okay, so think about it this way.
Okay.
Would you rather invest in a company that sells ice cubes in Antarctica
Probably not a good idea.
or a company that's selling bottled water in the desert?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
One of those has a much steadier future.
Right. It's not just about being in a good market.
Yeah.
It's about knowing how to dominate that market.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the next thing the article mentions.
Okay.
Market-leading position.
Makes sense.
So why is that so important? Like, why is it so crucial to be on top?
Well, think about the brands you use every day,
Okay.
the ones you really trust.
Yeah,
They're usually the leaders in their industries.
that's true.
It's because market leaders have some pretty big advantages.
Like what?
Okay. So they often have strong brand recognition.
Okay.
People know and trust them.
Mm-hmm.
They usually have a very loyal customer base. And they usually have the resources to stay ahead of the competition.
Right. They can reinvest those profits into R&D and...
Innovation, exactly.
Okay, so basically they get to make the rules.
Pretty much. They can set the trends.
Okay, I got it. And the article also really emphasized this idea of consistent growth.
Consistent growth.
Yeah, but isn't the market all about ups and downs?
You're right. Stock prices go up and down.
Yeah.
Especially in the short term.
Right.
But remember, we're talking about the long game here.
Yeah, forever.
Exactly. So consistent growth means looking past those daily changes
Okay.
and focusing on a company's track record.
Okay, so what have they actually done?
Exactly. Have they been increasing their revenue and earnings year after year?
So we're looking for steady progress, not just...
Not just a quick burst.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay. Slow and steady wins the race.
That's right.
All right, I see how these things all connect.
Yeah.
So the last criteria on the list, future catalysts.
Yes, the crystal ball.
All right, are we talking time travel? Like, how do we know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, no time machines, unfortunately.
Okay.
But future catalysts are basically signs
Okay.
that the company is ready for more growth.
So we're looking for clues.
Yeah, exactly. And it could be anything,
Okay.
like exciting new products,
Okay.
expanding into new markets,
Yeah,
or even strategic acquisitions.
So are they just sitting around or are they...
Right. Are they actively shaping their future?
All right, so it's like, are they still hungry?
Exactly.
Okay, now that we've got the ground rules,
Yeah.
let's meet our first contender.
Okay. Who is it?
Celsius?
Celsius.
I gotta say, this one's a personal favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Their energy drinks are like my go-to.
They're really popular.
Pretty much for everything.
I've heard good things.
They've really shaken up the beverage industry.
They have, and what's really impressive is
Oh, yeah.
Celsius is now the #3 energy drink in the U.S.
No way.
Yeah, they've even passed some of the big names we all know.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a David and Goliath story,
Right.
but with way more caffeine.
Lots of caffeine.
So the article highlighted their financial performance,
Okay.
and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Their revenue basically quadrupled.
No way.
Yeah, in just a couple of years.
Wow.
It went from $314.3 million
Okay.
in 2021 to $1.3 billion in 2023.
That's incredible.
And their profits are soaring.
Wow.
Their free cash flow turned positive.
So they're making money.
Yeah, it's like they found the secret formula.
It seems like.
And that revenue growth isn't just impressive.
Right.
It's a perfect example of consistent growth.
Exactly what we're looking for.
Right. And they're riding this huge wave
Oh, yeah.
of a booming energy drink market.
That's a good foundation for the future.
Right. So they've got the right product at the right time,
That work.
and they're making all the smart moves.
Like what kind of moves?
So they're expanding in retail stores,
Okay.
selling online like crazy through Amazon,
Smart.
and they keep coming out with new flavors.
Keeps things interesting.
Yeah, and get this, they're not stopping at the US.
Really?
Celsius is going global.
Wow.
Yeah, they're expanding into Canada, the UK, Ireland, Australia,
Oh,
New Zealand, and even France.
that's ambitious.
Yeah, world domination.
It seems like.
And that global push really shows you their long-term vision.
Yeah, they're thinking big.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't just want to be a big fish in a small pond.
Exactly.
They want the whole ocean.
I like that ambition.
Okay, so Celsius is looking pretty good so far.
So far, so good.
But let's see what our next contender brings to the table.
Okay, let's hear it.
So next up, we've got Roper Technologies.
Roper Technologies, okay.
And this one's a little tricky.
Okay.
They're a software company,
All right.
but their approach is a bit different.
In what way?
Well, they've kind of mastered this art of acquisitions.
Acquisition.
Yeah, so they're not just building software, they're buying other companies.
Interesting. So they're requiring companies to grow.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're building a software empire.
A software empire.
One acquisition at a time.
That's a bold strategy.
It is. So does it actually work?
Let's look at the numbers.
Okay.
So Roper has this amazing track record
Okay.
of consistent financial performance.
All right, give me the details.
Okay, so steady revenue growth,
Uh-huh.
earnings are growing,
Okay.
strong operating cash flow.
Now, what's operating cash flow again?
That's the cash they make from their normal business.
Gotcha.
And get this, they have a really impressive free cash flow margin.
Okay, remind me what's free cash flow margin?
It means they have a lot of cash left over.
After they pay for everything.
Exactly, after they've covered all their expenses.
Okay.
In fact, their free cash flow margin was over 30% in 2023.
Wow.
That's a sign of a really healthy business.
All right, I'm starting to see why they're on this list.
Right.
But hold on a second. Let's talk about this dividend thing.
Okay, dividends.
The article mentioned Roper keeps increasing its dividend.
They do.
So for those of us who are new to investing, can you break that down? Like, what does that actually mean?
Sure, a dividend is a portion of the company's profits
Okay.
that they pay out to their shareholders.
So it's like a reward for investing.
Exactly like a thank you gift.
Okay.
And when a company keeps increasing its dividend,
Yeah.
it usually means they're confident about the future.
Okay.
They think they can keep making profits.
So it's a good sign.
Yeah, it's good for long-term investors.
And in Roper's case,
Yeah,
their quarterly dividend has grown like tenfold.
it has over the past 15 years.
That's a pretty sweet deal.
It is.
All right, so now the article talks about some of the recent acquisitions,
Okay.
like ProCare Solutions.
ProCare Solutions.
Yeah, they make software for childcare centers.
Okay, interesting.
And then there's Transact Campus.
Okay.
They handle technology and payments for colleges.
So two very different industries.
Right, so what's the strategy here? These seem kind of random.
Well, remember that sturdy business model.
Yeah, the ice cubes and water bottles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These acquisitions are not random at all.
So there's a plan.
There's a plan. They're carefully chosen
Okay.
to help them grow into new markets.
So give me an example.
So ProCare taps into the childcare industry.
Okay, which is huge right now.
Yeah, it's booming.
And Transact Campus.
That gives them a way into higher education.
So they're not just buying random companies.
No, they're strategically expanding.
It's like they're weaving together
Yeah,
this network of businesses.
a tapestry of businesses.
Yeah, that all kind of support each other.
Exactly.
Pretty clever.
It is.
All right, it's time to meet our final contender,
Okay, bring it on.
Parsons Corporation.
Parsons Corporation.
And this one's a bit different from our first two.
Different how?
They're not your typical tech company.
Okay.
They operate in some pretty vital industries.
Like what?
So we're talking defense intelligence, critical infrastructure.
Oh, wow. So essential stuff.
Yeah, big projects.
Okay.
Like intelligence gathering, cybersecurity, complex infrastructure.
So the behind-the-scenes stuff,
Yeah, they keep things running.
important word.
Not as flashy as energy drinks or software,
Sure.
but definitely essential.
For sure.
But do they have the same growth potential?
Let's find out.
Okay,
Parsons might not be a household name,
like Celsius?
right, like Celsius,
Okay,
but they've had really impressive financial growth.
okay.
Their revenue, net income, and free cash flow.
They're hitting all the marks.
All of those have grown significantly
From when to when?
from 2021 to 2023.
Okay.
And just like Roper,
Yeah.
they're using acquisitions to grow even faster.
Wait, so they're buying companies too?
They are.
Like what kind of company?
Okay, so the article mentions Black Signal Technologies.
Okay.
They're a cybersecurity firm.
Cybersecurity, got it.
And then they also acquired BCC Engineering.
BCC.
Yeah, they're a transportation engineering company.
So they're adding cybersecurity and transportation.
They are.
What's the big picture here?
Well, these acquisitions aren't just random.
Okay.
They're very strategic.
All right, so how so?
Well, Black Signal makes them stronger in cybersecurity.
Which is a huge deal these days.
Yeah, it's only getting more important.
And BCC engineering.
That adds expertise in transportation.
Which is always changing.
Yeah, a sector that's constantly evolving.
So it's like they're building up their expertise.
Exactly.
In all these key areas.
They're diversifying.
Smart.
Very smart.
Okay, now get this. Parsons thinks their total addressable market
Okay.
is $150 billion.
$150 billion.
Oh!
Wow. That's a lot of potential.
Yeah, across all their different sectors.
That's a lot of zeros.
So what does that tell us about their growth potential?
It tells us they have a lot of room to grow,
Okay.
especially when you consider their performance so far.
And their strategic acquisitions.
Exactly. They're playing in some of the most important industries,
Yeah.
and they're doing it really well.
Okay, so we've met our three contenders.
We have Celsius,
Celsius, the energy drink disruptor,
Roper Technologies, the acquisition master.
and Parsons Corporation, the behind-the-scenes powerhouse.
Three very different companies.
Right, but all with the potential
Potentially.
for forever stocks.
The million-dollar question.
Right, so before we wrap up this part,
Yeah.
give me your expert take.
Okay.
What are some key takeaways from these companies?
Well, it's interesting because they're all so different,
Yeah, totally different industries.
but they have some things in common.
Like what?
They all have really strong business models.
Remember the ice cube?
Exactly.
Okay.
They're all leaders in their markets, and they've all steadily grown their revenue and earnings.
So they've got that solid base.
The foundation is there.
Yeah, they dominate their markets.
They do.
And they're growing consistently.
That's what we're looking for.
Right. So does that automatically make them forever stocks?
Well, there are no guarantees in the stock market,
Right, of course.
but these companies definitely have a lot of the qualities
Okay.
that investors look for when they want to hold for the long term.
So they have the track record, the strategy,
Yeah, and the vision.
to suggest that they could do well over time.
Exactly. They have the potential.
Okay, so I'm getting the feeling
Yeah.
that this forever stock thing,
It's tricky.
more of a mindset
It is.
than like finding a magic stock.
It's not about predicting the future.
Yeah, it's about spotting companies that can adapt,
Yeah.
innovate, and stay ahead of the game.
Companies that are built to last.
All right, I'm hooked. We're just getting started, right?
So, okay, all right, this is just the beginning.
This is just part one.
There's more to come.
So what's coming up in part two?
We're going to talk about broader investment strategies.
Okay.
We'll dive into ESG investing,
All right.
and we'll tackle the big question.
Yeah.
Can you actually build a forever portfolio?
Ooh, a cliffhanger.
Stay tuned.
Can't wait. I guess we'll have to wait for part two to find out.
Exactly.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive.
Back for more.
So we've been checking out these potential forever stocks.
Yeah, Celsius, Roper, Parsons.
Yeah, they seem pretty impressive.
They do.
But like we talked about before the break,
Yeah.
there's a lot more to think about when you're building a portfolio.
Right, especially for the long haul.
Yeah, so picking individual stocks, that's
Yeah.
just one piece of the puzzle.
It is. You got to think bigger picture.
So to build a forever portfolio, we got to think bigger, broader.
Further into the future.
Right, and that's hard.
It is.
What trends are going to shape the market like decades from now?
Exactly what industries are going to blow up.
It's like we need a crystal ball,
Right.
but instead of lottery numbers,
Yeah.
it's showing us like the industries of the future.
Exactly.
So where do we even begin?
Well, as an expert,
Yeah.
one area that's really exciting to me
Okay.
is where technology meets healthcare.
Ooh, healthcare tech.
Yeah, we're about to see some crazy breakthroughs.
Like what?
Okay, so personalized medicine,
Okay.
gene editing,
Whoa.
AI-driven diagnostics.
So AI is getting into healthcare too.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be huge.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm all for like revolutionizing healthcare.
Right.
But how do we as investors know what's real?
That's the question.
There's so much hype.
So much hype.
How do we know which companies are actually going to deliver?
You got to look beyond the headlines.
Yeah.
And dig into the company's fundamentals.
So like what are they actually doing?
Exactly. Are they doing clinical trials?
Okay.
Do they have a plan for regulations?
Right, because that can be a big hurdle.
It can be.
Okay, and the big one.
Yeah.
Do they actually have a plan to get their product out there?
Exactly. Can they bring it to market?
So it's not just about having cool technology.
Yeah.
It's about knowing how to make it a business.
You got to have a plan to make it work in the real world.
Okay, that makes sense.
Good.
So another trend that's been gaining a lot of traction,
Okay, what is it?
ESG. investing.
ESG.
ESG, I've heard of
But
it.
for those who don't know,
Yeah.
ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance.
Right. So it's about sustainability and all that. Yeah. Basically, it's about investing in companies
Okay.
that are committed to doing good.
So being ethical and responsible.
Yeah, exactly. Ethical business practices, all of that.
It's a hot topic these days.
It is, and for good reason.
Yeah.
The world is dealing with climate change, social inequality.
Corporate scandals.
Right. So people want their investments to align with their values.
I get it.
But can you actually do well by doing good?
Right. Is it just a feel-good trend?
Or can you actually make money?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Well, research is showing
Companies that can adapt to the changing world.
that's the key.
But honestly, ESG investing can feel kind of overwhelming.
It can be a lot to take in.
There are so many things to consider.
Yeah.
And it seems like every company has their own definition of sustainability.
It's a bit of a jungle out there.
It is.
Yeah.
So how do we even begin to evaluate companies?
Well, there are resources out there.
Okay.
Some organizations give ESG ratings.
Okay, so you can compare companies.
Exactly. You can compare them across different industries. But don't just rely on those ratings blindly.
Okay.
You got to do your own research.
So dig deeper.
Yeah. Look into their specific practices.
Their policies?
Look for transparency and accountability.
So we need to be smart investors,
Exactly.
not just checking boxes.
No, you have to understand what the company really stands for.
Okay, so we've talked about healthcare tech, ESG investing.
Two big trends.
Yeah. But before we get too carried away with specific industries,
Yeah.
I want to talk about a basic principle.
Okay. What is it?
Diversification.
Diversification.
Not the most exciting topic.
It's not the sexiest.
But it's so important for long-term success.
It really is.
So we're building for the long haul, right?
That's the goal.
And over time, the market's going to go up and down.
It always does.
There will be surprises.
Always surprises.
So a diverse portfolio helps you ride those waves.
Yeah, it helps you weather the storms.
Okay, so diversification basically means don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
But for a new investor that can feel really daunting,
I get it.
where do you even start?
Well, think about it like building a meal.
Okay, a meal.
Yeah, you wouldn't eat pizza every single day.
Probably not.
You need variety to be healthy.
Okay, so your portfolio needs a mix of different things.
Yeah, a mix of different assets.
Like stocks from different industries.
stocks from different industries, stocks from different parts of the world,
Okay.
bonds, real estate,
Okay.
maybe even some alternative investments like commodities or precious metals.
Wow, so many options.
The key is to find a mix that works for you.
So a mix that matches my risk tolerance, my goals, my time horizon.
Exactly. And if it feels overwhelming,
Which it does.
remember, you don't have to do this alone.
That's where a financial advisor comes in.
Exactly.
They can help you.
So they helped you create a plan.
They can guide you. They can make sure you're on the right track.
Okay, so they're like your investing coach.
Pretty much.
All right, so we've talked about healthcare tech,
Yeah.
ESG investing,
Diversification.
but I want to go back to something.
Okay.
We keep saying forever portfolio.
Right.
But is that even real?
Good question.
The market is always changing.
Always.
Technology is evolving so fast.
Lightning speed.
Who knows what the future holds?
That's true. It's impossible to predict the future.
So is this whole forever thing just a dream?
Well, it's more of a mindset.
Okay, a mindset.
But it's about thinking long term,
Okay.
focusing on quality companies,
Yeah.
and being ready to adapt as the world changes.
So it's not about buying stocks and forgetting about them?
It's about being active and engaged,
Yeah.
constantly learning and evaluating.
Making informed decisions.
So it's like a garden.
A garden.
You got to tend to it.
I like that.
Prune it, make sure it's getting what it needs.
A living, breathing thing.
Yeah, exactly.
A forever portfolio grows alongside you.
Okay, that's a really good way to think about it.
Glad you like it.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off finding the perfect stocks.
Yeah.
It's more about building something that reflects your values.
That reflects your goals.
Okay, but let's get practical.
Okay.
What can our listeners do right now?
To get started.
Yeah, to start building their own forever portfolios.
The first step is simple.
Okay.
Define your goals.
My goals.
What are you saving for?
All right, so retirement, a down payment.
Yeah, maybe your kid's education.
Okay, so once I know what I'm working towards,
Then you can start making a plan.
so it's about setting those goals,
Exactly.
whether it's a dollar amount or a lifestyle.
Right, and then you figure out how much you need to invest
Okay, and what kind of returns you need.
to reach those goals.
Gotcha.
The next step is to figure out your risk tolerance.
Risk tolerance.
Yeah, how comfortable are you with the market going up and down?
Okay, so can I handle some bumps along the way?
Exactly. Are you okay with some short-term volatility?
In exchange for maybe bigger gains later.
Exactly. Or do you want to play it safe?
So knowing yourself is important.
It's crucial. You got to be honest about how much risk you can handle.
All right, once I know my risk tolerance.
Then you can start looking at investments.
Okay, so I'm looking for those sturdy business models.
Market leaders, consistent growth, future catalysts.
Right, all the stuff we talked about
Yeah.
before. And
That's
I'm
it.
choosing companies
That fit your goals
that fit my timeline.
and your risk tolerance.
It's about building a portfolio that you actually believe in.
Yeah. And one that can stand the test of time.
So it's like building a team of all-stars,
I like it.
each one bringing something unique.
Each player with their own strengths.
But even with a great team, you still need a good coach.
A coach.
That's where the financial advisor comes in.
Exactly. They can help you make smart choices.
They keep you on track.
They keep you on track.
All right, before we jump into part 3, I have
Okay.
one last question.
Okay.
So we're talking about forever portfolios,
Right.
but what if those companies don't actually exist forever?
That's a good point. Companies can change.
They can merge, get acquired, even go bankrupt.
It happens.
So how do we deal with that?
Well, it brings us back to the forever mindset.
Okay. The mindset.
It's not about finding companies that will literally last forever.
Right.
It's about having a flexible approach to investing.
Being ready to adapt.
Yeah, being willing to let go of investments that don't work anymore.
So always learning and reevaluating.
Exactly, and making changes as needed.
So it's a journey.
It is a continuous journey.
Always learning and fine-tuning.
You got it.
It's about embracing the fact that the market is always changing.
And being prepared to change with it.
Okay, so building a forever portfolio. It's a process.
It's not just a one-time thing.
It's ongoing.
And it can be challenging, but also rewarding.
Definitely rewarding.
All right, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
We talked about ESG investing.
Diversification.
The forever mindset.
Yeah, and what forever even means.
Big questions.
So for part 3,
Yeah.
I want to get specific.
Okay.
Tell me about some emerging industries.
Okay.
Some disruptive technologies
Right.
that could change the future of investing.
Time for some predictions.
Get ready for some future casting. Right. We've talked about forever, stocks, promising companies,
Yeah.
strategies for building a portfolio that can last.
Long-term thinking.
But now we're looking
Let's
ahead,
see the future.
gazing into that crystal ball
Okay.
of emerging industries.
What's next?
Disruptive technologies.
The big question.
So what has you most excited about the future of investing?
Well, one area you can't ignore is artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's already impacting our lives in so many ways.
Self-driving cars,
Yeah.
personalized recommendations.
Right, but that's just the beginning.
Exactly. It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, so what's below the surface?
AI could revolutionize everything.
Everything.
Healthcare, manufacturing, education.
Wow.
It's going to create new industries.
And transform the ones we already have.
Exactly.
Okay, so AI is a hot topic,
It is.
but it also feels kind of like the Wild West.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype.
So how do we as investors separate the real deal from the hype?
You have to look beyond the buzzwords
Okay.
and really assess what these companies can do.
What are their capabilities?
Right. Do they have their own algorithms?
Oh.
Do they have a strong team of data scientists and engineers?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And most importantly, do they know how to use AI to solve real problems?
So it's not enough to just slab AI on your company name.
Definitely not.
You have to actually be doing the work.
You have to have the expertise.
Okay, makes sense.
Good.
Now, another area that I'm really interested in is biotechnology.
Biotech.
Yeah, we're seeing amazing progress.
Gene editing,
Personalized medicine.
maybe even extending lifespan.
It feels like we're on the edge of a healthcare revolution.
It does feel that way.
But biotech can be really complicated
It is.
and risky.
Very risky.
So how do we even approach biotech investing?
Well, first you have to understand the science.
Okay.
Do their technologies actually have a strong scientific basis?
So I need to do my research.
Yeah, look for rigorous research and clinical trials.
So it's not just about the promise of the technology.
Right, it has to be backed up by science.
Okay, what else?
You also have to look at their path to commercialization.
So can they actually bring their product to market?
Exactly. Developing new drugs and therapies is expensive.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
So you have to look at their finances
Okay.
and their regulatory strategy.
Makes sense.
Biotech is not for the casual investor.
Definitely not.
You have to be willing to do the work.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit, let's talk about renewable energy.
Renewable energy.
Yeah, the world is trying to figure out climate change.
We need sustainable solutions.
And this sector seems like it's going to explode.
It is. It's not a niche market anymore.
Right, it's a global necessity.
Exactly. The clean energy future is happening.
So how do we as investors choose the right companies to back?
Well, you have to think about scalability.
Okay, so can their solutions be used on a large scale?
Yeah. Can they meet the growing demand for clean energy?
Makes sense.
And you have to look at cost effectiveness.
Right, can they compete with fossil fuels?
That's the key.
So it's not just about being environmentally friendly.
No, it has to make financial sense.
It has to be scalable. It has to be able to grow.
It's about finding the companies that can truly lead the way.
Okay, so we've talked about AI, biotech, renewable energy.
3 big trends.
Yeah, all exciting and potentially transformative.
For sure.
But what about those unexpected trends?
The dark horses.
Yeah, the ones we might not see coming.
The ones that could disrupt everything.
What are you watching?
Okay, so one area that's really interesting
Yeah.
is the intersection of biotech and IT.
Biotech and IT, okay.
Yeah, companies are using AI and machine learning to speed up drug discovery,
Wow.
to personalize healthcare,
Okay.
even to create new forms of life.
That sounds like science fiction.
It does, but it's happening.
So these different fields are coming together.
Converging.
Yeah, and creating new possibilities.
Exactly.
Okay.
Another area I'm watching is the metaverse.
The metaverse.
Yeah, it's still early,
Right, but
but the potential is huge.
okay, so virtual reality, augmented reality.
Transforming how we work, how we play, how we interact with the world.
So the company is building the infrastructure for the metaverse,
They could be in a really good position.
for long-term growth.
Exactly.
Feels like we're just at the beginning.
We are.
The future of investing is full of unknowns.
It's full of potential.
That's what makes it so exciting.
It's a journey.
A journey of discovery.
Always learning, always adapting.
And that's what we've been talking about in this deep dive.
It's about giving you the tools to think about investing,
Yeah, to think about the future.
to make your own decisions.
So as we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to challenge our listeners.
Okay, a challenge.
What emerging industries are you excited about?
What innovations do you think will change the world?
Share your thoughts with us.
Let's keep talking about the future.
Because the world of investing is always changing.
It is.
So embrace the challenge.
Stay curious.
Keep learning.
You never know what you might discover.
Your next forever investment could be right around the corner.
It could be.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive